So today I promised that we would get into something called Padadhirasana. Padadhirasana is I guess a pranayama preparation. It is to try to help balance the nervous system. It's acknowledging that the energy in our autonomic nervous system is constantly flipping back and forth over, let's say, an hour and a half or so between parasympathetic and sympathetic nervous system. There's always a little bit of a swing of the pendulum like a clock. And when we're in that upswing of energy and feeling that we're able to focus, we have clarity, we want to do our thing, and we feel awake, essentially. When we're in that, that's the, let's say, in terms of yoga, we have the sympathetic nervous system, but what we were talking about last time was Ida and Pingala. So Pingala is the rising energy that is the awakeness, alertness. Okay, so that's Pingala. And the opposite side, the rest and digest, parasympathetic nervous system, is the Ida channel. Okay, so these two channels, what we want to try to do, according to yogis, is that we want to balance these energy channels that are within us. And when we do, there is an experience where we can be both focused and clear without being overly awake or feeling like we need to kind of move. When you get really in that sympathetic nervous system, meaning when you're in that more go energy, it's very easy to kind of push past the ability to focus and kind of get into, I need to do things, and you get scatterbrained. Like you can't just be right where you are, and you feel like you have to get up and do the next thing and the next thing. And so it's hard to focus. So that's going too far in that direction of Pingala, too far in the sympathetic nervous system. And the opposite is true. It's great to relax in the middle of the day, take a nap, whatever. But if we're unmotivated or we're feeling lethargic, we're not able to get back into the swing of things, then we're too much in that Ida channel. Now, right in between those two allows us to be focused, alert, but not squirmish or squeamish, or not squeamish, it's not the right word, but not trying to get out of whatever situation that we're in, just being present with where we are at now. It's kind of this nice balance point. And essentially, that's the place where it is easiest to go into our meditation. That doesn't mean that we don't practice meditation regardless of what state we're in. So, it's like, let's move it out to asana, out to the physical body, that outermost layer. Now, it's great to practice asana when you're in your peak performance state, meaning, for me, that's later in the day. For some people, it's earlier in the day. It depends on your personality and body type and whatnot. And now, it's great to get in your body and do asana during that peak physical state, when your food is digested, when you've gotten the energy from your food, where you had enough night's sleep, whatever. And then you feel like, wow, I feel empowered and I can do anything in my yoga practice. But you don't want to limit yourself to only practicing in those times when things are just perfect, right? So you want to practice asana to be able to get into your peak physical performance, even when the outside circumstances or inside physical circumstances aren't just right. We want to be able to get into our physical body, reorganize it, feel better physically, even when things aren't completely aligned. Okay, but that said, that doesn't mean that's where we start. We usually start, let's try to get into our physical body in our peak performance state. And same thing with meditation. Let's get to a point where, let's make it easy on us so that all the circumstances are the best we can make them, and then we'll go inward into the meditation. And then over time, you can learn to meditate when you're in aggravation or when you are feeling lethargic. I find the hardest part for me is trying to meditate when I'm feeling really tired. That's something that I struggle with. I can sit and close my eyes personally when I'm feeling aggravated and agitated, but sitting and closing my eyes when I'm feeling lethargic and lacking energy, I just can't drum up that. It's really hard for me. So I try to practice that to strengthen that skill set of being attentive even when I'm tired and groggy, okay? But that's more, I would say, more advanced. Better to, with all things, make the circumstances the best you possibly can. Like we put down our yoga mat and it's sticky, right? Rather than doing yoga on a slippy, slidey surface, which would be excellent for the physical body if you were able to strengthen your muscles enough that you wouldn't be sliding within a sliding surface. So something I do to advance my asana practice is I put socks on or I put gloves on that are slippery. But if you tried that right in the beginning of doing yoga, you would be slipping and sliding all over the place. It would be a disaster, right? So we do our best to make the circumstances most optimal. And then from there, we develop the strength of attention. And then as attention gets stronger, our willpower grows, then we can shake it up and try meditation in the challenging moments. So that's why I created the immersion this month, to have physical body, then we do pranayama, then we do meditation, so that we have the most optimal place, the most optimal way into a meditative state. So that said, Padadhirasana is a preparation for pranayama to try to put our nervous system in balance. And we'll be doing it later, but I want to give you this skill set right now while I have your attention, so that later I'm not trying to, pull you out of the meditative state, after asana, that little high that we get. We want to kind of maintain that. So if you take your right hand and you place it underneath your left armpit, and you just rest your left arm over the right hand. It's a soft fist, okay? Or if that's too much for you, you can just place your palm like this. It doesn't have to be a fist. I like a soft fist because it kind of stimulates. There's a nerve here between, I want to say, the 7th and 8th rib or so, that this nerve corresponds with the opposite nostril, okay? So when you place your right hand underneath your left armpit, I'm not mirroring, by the way, so just take your right hand, left armpit, then your right nostril, your right sinus pathway will clear as a result of stimulation of that nerve. Now, if we do the opposite, the left hand underneath the right arm, the left nostril now will start to clear. Now, why that's important? We use this as a tool, Padadhirasana, with both hands under the armpits, to try to become awake, aware of the nervous system. So I said last time, the left side of the body, Ida, corresponds with right hemisphere of the brain, okay? This is all going to be the parasympathetic nervous system. So if the left side is awake, then we're probably going to be a little towards the tired end or calm end, if you want to, put a positive light to that. Okay, if the left nostril is clear, that's the right side of the body, left hemisphere of the brain, okay, that's going to be the Pingala channel, then you might be more energized, more awake, okay? And some of you might say, well, I got a deviated septum. It's not really that portion. Even with a deviated septum, you'll feel, I have one too, you'll still feel the shift in which nostril you can breathe out of more, okay? If you observe, you'll notice that it's not always the same one. One closes, the other one opens. And you can adjust that by which side you lay on, right? That's one way of doing it. And that's why in yoga, a lot of times you come out of Shavasana and you roll to the right side is the tradition, so that your left side, your Ida channel, your parasympathetic, is more up, it's awake. So the idea is to keep a calm energy. So you roll to the right, keeping the calm up to the sky, and then you come up. So, if you wanted to be more awake after your asana practice, you'd roll to your left side, according to that philosophy. All right, so let's get going. I don't want to waste any more time discussing Padadhirasana, but this is the drill. Okay, so you're going to have your hands underneath and this is what's going to help us with our leading into our pranayama to try to balance the nervous system. And the pranayama that we'll do is the same one as last time, so we'll just introduce one new variable, that's Padadhirasana, and the breath is from the belly pulling back. It's a squeezing of what's called transverse abdominals, these deep core muscles. So the belly, and I really want to focus on, it's not from the throat muscles or up here. So it's not the neck or the collarbones, which you can force exhales from up here. It's not the same thing. It's really from down here. Actually, the whole upper throat and nose and everything is quite relaxed. It's just the belly. When the belly pulls back, it forces the diaphragm up, getting air to go out of the lungs. Now, we're passive on the inhale, so no like, which the opposite would be Bhastrika, which we'll be doing next time, okay? But that's more, it's gonna create a little bit more intensity. But this one is just, the belly goes out on its own because the muscles, when they relax, it creates a vacuum. The diaphragm will go down and it'll pull air into the lungs. You don't have to do that voluntarily if you don't want to. All right, so we won't be doing it voluntarily. This is called Kapalabhati, skull cleansing or skull shining breath. Okay, Padahirasana into skull shining breath, and then our, I'll say it right now just so we have it, Shivoham. I am, we're gonna use Purnoham. Purnoham is going to be our mantra for today, which is, I am completely full. I have all I need. I am the fullness of the universe itself is within me. Okay, so there's many ways we can interpret this, but Purno is fullness with a capital F, like the fullness of the entirety of the experience of life itself is flowing through my veins. That consciousness, this energy that is ever present all around us and within us, it's just an acknowledgement that it is inside of me, that I am lacking nothing, that nothing is needed. I need not grasp for anything, for I am full. This is what Purnoham is. That's the mantra we'll be using. And you try to really feel that fullness of energy inside of you, the totality of life. Purnoham. All right, so let's get into it. Come to all fours, hands and knees. All right, let's get into it. Take a full breath in, arch. Nina Eckhart, nice to see you. Exhale, round, gaze inward. Inhale, arch and look up. Exhale, round. Inhale, tuck toes, arch the back, look up. Exhale, round. Inhale, tuck the toes, arch, look up. Hello, Leslie, nice to see you. Exhale, point the feet and round. Inhale, tuck the toes and arch. Let's move to child's pose on the exhale. Point the feet round. And we're going to take a swim with the left arm. So pull the left hand back as you come forward. Big opening of the chest. Exhale, slowly move back. Same thing on the right. Pull the right hand back as you come forward with your torso. Exhale, slowly move back. Same thing, 2 more times each side. Inhale, left. Exhale, back. Inhale, right. Exhale, back. Left, inhale. Exhale. Inhale, right. Exhale. All fours, hands and knees. Inhale. Tuck the toes. Exhale. Adho Mukha Svanasana, down dog. Let's pedal out the legs. Move the hips side to side. Anything that feels good for you.
And we can start bringing this idea of purnoham, this idea of fullness, purnata, this idea of fullness within our yoga practice, recognizing that there is nothing that we are without. There is a part of the mind, the ego, that will always be grasping and feeling like it is unfulfilled, needing more, needing more, needing more. Or even it's a distortion of the mind, raga, attachment, that tells us that we need more as well. Come forward to plank on the inhale. Grip your fingers into the ground. One more full breath in. And lower down, chaturanga. For the back, let's just do an inhale, lift the heart.
Exhale.
Inhale, lift the heart.
Exhale.
Inhale, lift the heart. Now lift the hands too if you can.
Exhale.
All fours, hands and knees. Inhale.
Tuck toes, exhale, down dog.
Right leg to the sky. Inhale. Step forward as you exhale. Come up onto your fingertips and take a breath. And we start from that recognition of I am full. I gave the slight imagery last time for a moment about light coming in from the sun hits either, let's say, the water in the atmosphere and fractals off into multiple colors, creating a rainbow, each color unique and beautiful in its own right. But at the same time, it's all coming from one source. And that's really the teaching, is to recognize that I am that light. Yes, I am the beautiful single color individual as I am. I am certainly all the uniqueness of being an individual human with the roles that I play in society. Take one more full breath in. Step to down dog. And I am also that which is all that is. So recognizing that fullness, consciousness, the energy of life itself is pulsing through me, taking form as me. Come forward to plank on the inhale. Knees down as you exhale. Inhale, lift the heart.
Exhale, release it back.
This time, heart and hands. Inhale.
Exhale.
Inhale, heart, hands, feet.
Exhale.
All fours, hands and knees.
Tuck toes, lead with the tailbone up, down dog.
Left leg to the sky. Inhale. Step forward, exhale. Come up onto your fingertips. Purnata means fullness. So this idea that I am full can be translated into the physical body. We can bring it into the back of our body. So let's fill out the back of the heart with breath as you inhale, round your upper back and get really full. Get lighter in the fingertips as a result of this fullness of energy in the back body. Full of strength, full of energy, full of breath. So while I am an individual, unique as I am, with both personality, roles that I play in society, I am also flowing with that ever-present consciousness within me. I am that fullness, purnata, purnoham. Place the hands to the ground, downward dog. Forward to plank pose, inhale. Chaturanga as you exhale. This round, interlace the hands behind the back. Slide your hands to your low back. Shrug your shoulders towards your ears. Now reach the hands up to the sky. Press your pelvis down. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, back down. 2 more. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale. Potentially lifting the feet this round. Inhale. Come to all fours, hands and knees. Exhale, down dog. Right leg to the sky on the inhale. Step forward, exhale. High up on the fingertips. Now get full in the back body. Inhale. As you exhale, now twist. Turn your belly. Turn the chest. Inhale, hand back to the ground. Fullness in the back body. Exhale, twist. Turn the belly. Turn the chest. One more. Inhale. Exhale, twist. Inhale. Step to down dog. Forward to plank, inhale. Chaturanga. Slide the hands and feet a little wide now. Let's get to our 3-part cobra. Inhale, lift the front body. Exhale, soften the rib cage down. Really bow the rib cage forward. Press it forward. Sag it forward. Now pull the abdomen, heart, and chest up. Top of the head up. Exhale, release. Let's do 2 more to warm up the spine. Inhale, lift the front body. Soften, sag the rib cage forward, low ribs forward. Inhale as you press the heart forward, lift a little taller. Exhale. Last round, inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Release. All fours, hands and knees, inhale. Tailbone up, downward dog, exhale. Right leg to the sky, inhale. Step forward as you exhale. Rise, high lunge preparation, hands to the front knee. Starting from fullness. So this idea that we're not lacking anything. So this, what I wanted to just kind of keep going with is this idea of raga. Raga is attachment, because attachment meaning that we believe that we don't have enough already, that we are without something, that we are missing something. So this idea of raga is this constant chase towards something to fulfill us. And that's all stemming from the ego saying that we are individuals, which is great, but an unhealthy ego and being an individual without connection to the full, to the whole is the issue. So it's not the ego that's the problem. It's not the identity or the separateness or the individuality. It's the missing of the connection back to the fullness of all there is. Recognizing that I'm an expression of that fullness. I'm an expression, a unique individual. So fill out the back body, a unique individual that is an expression of the whole, a microcosm of the macrocosm. Okay, with the back body full now, reach the arms out to the sides, and for some of you, maybe swim the arms forward up on a diagonal, the same diagonal as the back leg. Full breath in. So if you are full of life's energy, the power of consciousness that is within you,
then the challenges that we face on individual levels, we recognize that we're not alone in them. That actually this is a challenge for me as an individual, but also life itself is within me. Hands to the ground as you exhale. Straighten through the front leg on the inhale, look forward. Exhale, bow. Inhale, bend the front knee. Step to down dog, exhale. Right to the left side to the sky on the inhale. Step forward. Hands on the front knee and prep here. Purnoham, I am full. It's an acknowledgement that we recognize that the ego inside of us is a good thing. It helps us to be individuals in society and operate. And it's actually a gift that we get to be individuals. But at the same time, if we lose sight, if the ego loses track of its bigger identity, which for most of us it has, that it is, fulfilled with energy inside of it, this pulse of consciousness within us. If it loses sight of that, then that's where we feel cut off. And that's where things get a little bit muddy and we start getting into that craving of attachment to things, assuming that if only I had that, then I'd be happy. When I get that pose, then I'll be good at yoga, whatever it might be. And that cycle of attachment is coming from the severed tie to the fullness within us. So we try to get back to it. Round the back on the in-breath, get full in the back body, get light, get strong. Now take the arms out to the sides and swim the arms forward. Full breath in. Might be a nice idea to connect to Purnoham. I am fullness when things are easy, but when things are hard, that's where we lose it. So stay with it. Hands to the ground as you exhale. Straighten through the front leg, inhale, wag the tail straight back. Exhale, bow. Inhale, bend the front knee. Step to down dog as you exhale. Forward to plank pose, inhale. Lower chaturanga, exhale. Slide hands and feet wide on the inhale. Lift, fullness in the back body to start. Exhale, soften, heart forward, melt, fullness in the front body. Lengthen everything. Inhale up through the back of the neck. Keep pressing the low ribs forward. Exhale and release. All fours, hands and knees. Inhale. Tuck the toes. Exhale, down dog. Right leg to the sky on the in-breath. Step forward as you exhale. Inhale, round the back, come up to a preparation lunge. Exhale, you're going to open up, back heel down, forearm to the thigh. Left hand to the hip. Okay, draw energy in from the earth. Pull your feet toward each other until your hips lift up and move them slightly back. Now press through your front heel. That will help to start, like if you press straight down through your heel, that'll turn the pelvis, turn the belly, turn the chest. Slide your right hand today, just so that, sorry, not the hand, but the elbow just inside of the knee and bend your elbow like so. With your elbow, you're gonna push your knee out. With your knee, squeeze back in. Show that from the side angle. So elbow is pushing the knee out, knee squeezing in. Now take the other hand like so. We're just gonna kind of prep the body for arm balances by squeezing the knee into the arm. Full breath in and out. Now can you create a little fullness in the back body? Inhale, round the back. Exhale. Hope you're not collapsing on your thigh. Push into your heel. Okay, release. Pivot the back knee down, heel toe the front foot out to the side. Let's take our thigh stretch now. Reach the right hand back for the foot. Now pull your back knee and front foot toward each other. Bring the heel in. Gently press the back foot into the hand. Two more breaths. One more breath. All right, release the thigh stretch. Now you're gonna take your forearms to a block or the ground, whatever you can do, but you'll notice, watch my back thigh for a second. I'm gonna lift it up. Okay, I'll show you from the side angle. I'm gonna lift the back thigh up, move the back knee forward, and bring the back foot in. Okay, then take your forearms on blocks, however many you need. Okay, and then squeeze your knee into your shoulder. Now, as your knee squeezes into your shoulder, it's the same action you just did in side angle when I had your elbow on the inner knee. But now your knee's squeezing into your shoulder. I'd like you to find the back body getting full as well here. So on the inhale, round your back. Squeeze the knees inward. Your back knee even squeeze forward towards the front heel. So you feel your back inner thighs and the front inner thighs active. Stay full in the back body as you breathe. We're going to add on a little bit something to the breath, which is called a kumbhak, which is kumbhaka is like a breath retention, but not so much a holding of the breath as it is a lingering of the breath. There's no clenching of throat muscles or teeth or anything around the nose. It's all from the diaphragm. So that means at the top of your inhale, in the fullest state, there's a lingering moment before you exhale. That little bit of stillness in the fullness is what we're going to try to go for, okay? So let's come out of the pose. And if you have blocks, put them aside. You can inhale to plank pose. Linger at the top of the breath. Then exhale, chaturanga. Three-part cobra. Inhale. Linger. Exhale, soften. Stretch the belly. Inhale, lift up. Linger at the top. Exhale. The lingering is just an effortless, no effort from the throat muscles or the mouth. Inhale to all fours. It's like the breath is kind of going over a hill and lingers at the top before it goes down. Tuck the toes, down dog. Let's take left leg to the sky. Inhale. Step forward as you exhale. Hands to the front thigh. Inhale. Round the back, fullness. Pivot the back heel down, forearm to the thigh. Sway the hips back a little bit. Okay, and pull your feet toward each other. Now scoop your left sit bone, your left tailbone, no, you don't have a left tailbone, your left pelvis, let's say, underneath a little bit. So you see how my front hip here kind of lifts up? That's from the left buttocks coming underneath. You're gonna keep that, turn the belly, turn the chest, and then while doing that, slide the left elbow just inside of your left knee. And that's where you're gonna really press the knee out with your elbow, and your knee squeezes back into the elbow. So you feel your left groin muscles and adductors, your inner thighs, activating. We take our hands in this arm balance prep position. And now the back of the heart is where we're gonna try to find that fullness. So inhale and round the back slightly. Hold here, soften the eyes. Let's do another breath with a lingering kumbhaka. Inhale. Linger at the top. Exhale. One more. Inhale. Linger at the top. And then exhale. Release the hands. Release the back knee. Let's go to our thigh stretch. Bend the back knee. Reach for the foot. The two knees can pull toward one another. And let's start to add in the kumbhaka, the little lingering moment at the top where we're in our fullness the fullest state of our inhale. All right, thigh stretch, release. Bring the back knee forward, okay, and foot in. Now take your forearms to the blocks. And with your forearms to the ground, squeeze your left knee in so you feel your inner thighs activate. And now fill out the back body. Linger at the top of the inhale. Exhale. And in that lingering, try to adopt the realization, the recognition that I am full. Okay, inhale. Purnoham. Exhale. Recognizing that I need nothing outside of myself, that I am already full. And from fullness, I can express myself. Exhale. So that might mean still purchasing that thing or attaining that pose or whatever it might be, but from a place of fullness rather than a place of lack, from a place of desire to express myself rather than a place of trying to prove myself. Okay, those are different experiences. On the outside, it might be the same. You might have that same job that you were trying to strive for. You might have the same family, the same clothes, or whatever. But the intention behind it is, instead of coming from trying to prove yourself from a place of lack, trying to fill that empty void that is always present, if you're in the cycle of raga, again, the attachment cycle, believing that we need something outside of ourselves, rather than expression, which is the recognition that everything I need is within me already. I am already full. Okay, release the thighs stretch. Release the blocks. Take the hands to the ground. Inhale to plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Slide the hands wide. Come into round the back. Fullness in the back body. Feet wide. Soften. Exhale. The middle of the bow in the middle of your back presses forward, then rise. Keep pressing the middle of the back forward even though you're rising. Okay, exhale, release. All fours, hands and knees. Inhale. Tuck toes, exhale, down dog. Right leg to the sky, inhale. Exhale, step forward. Rise, high lunge, inhale. Open Virabhadrasana 2, exhale. Reverse warrior, linger at the top of the inhale. Exhale, side angle pose. Hand to the hip. All right, let's take the right hand to the inside of the right foot today. Maybe behind the heel if you can. So if that doesn't work out, place a block right behind your heel and place your hand there. Slowly start to straighten any degree. Okay, so if you have the range of motion to go straight with the knee, then of course the block is going to have to be back a few inches behind the heel to accommodate for that. Okay, so if you're not using a block, then your hand is behind the heel and your thigh is pressing slowly into the shoulder, and you're going to have to dip and side bend a little bit in order to get towards straight. See, this elbow is bent in order to do so. Okay, bend the knee again. Let's go back to reverse warrior. Lead with the top hand. Inhale, linger. Exhale, side angle. Hand behind the heel or on block. Straighten through the legs slowly, inhale. Exhale, bend the knee. Left arm leads the way. Inhale, reverse warrior. Linger. Exhale, hand behind the right foot. You could also take the arm over the ear if you like. Inhale, slowly straighten through the right leg. Inhale, linger. Exhale, bend the knee.
Inhale, reverse.
Linger. Exhale, hands to the ground.
I think that was 3 times, I hope. Inhale, plank. Chaturanga. Slide the hands wide, fingertips. Inhale, lift the front body.
Exhale, soften. Inhale, stretch the belly long. Exhale, release.
Inhale to all fours. Tuck the toes. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Left side to the sky. Inhale. Step forward. Rise, high lunge. Inhale. Vira 2. Reverse warrior, linger at the top. And side angle preparation. We're going to slide the left hand down behind the left heel or onto the block. Okay, now very slowly, I recommend also turning the back toes in a little bit for this as you come towards triangle pose. Okay, and any amount, you're not trying to strain anything here. Remember, the purpose of our practice today has nothing to do with attaining a posture. Recognizing that I am already full, that I've got everything I need within me, and from that place I can express my human capabilities in my physical form in a way of enjoying what I have. You know, self-expression is a gift that we get. You know, I'm just pumping back and forth, by the way, just a few times to warm up the hamstrings. All right, now bend the knee. We're going to lead with the right hand, reverse warrior. Here we go. Linger. Exhale, side angle. You can use the arm if you like. Inhale, straighten through the front leg. Exhale, bend. Reverse warrior. Linger. Exhale, side angle. Inhale, straighten any amount. Exhale, bend. Reverse warrior, inhale. Exhale. One more time. Inhale, straighten. Exhale. Reverse warrior. Linger. Hands to the ground. Plank pose, inhale. Chaturanga. Slide the hands wide, inhale, feet wide, fullness. Softness. Inhale, stretch, lengthen. Exhale. All fours. Tuck toes down, dog. Right leg to the sky, inhale. Step forward, exhale. High lunge, inhale, linger at the top of the breath. Open warrior 2. Reverse warrior. Linger. Exhale, hand to the ground but outside the foot. Take an inhale to step forward. Pause, coming into half moon. Hold. Now, adjust yourself. If you want to keep the bottom knee bent, that's fine. You want to straighten it, that's okay. But get to a place where you feel stable. Option to turn the gaze to the sky, which is a lot less stable. Or keep the gaze down at the ground. Now focus on the breath. Place that attention of our mind in the space between the inhale and the exhale, where we are most full of life's energy, recognizing that I have everything I need. Nothing outside of me is needed. Everything is within me. This is the teaching of Purnoham, Purnata, fullness. Release slowly. Left hand to the ground. Take the left knee behind the right ankle or outside of it. Okay, so cross-legged seat. Inhale, lift the body tall. Exhale, twist. Inhale, lift tall. Exhale, twist. One more round. Unwind slowly. Counter twist. All right, so you take the left leg to the inner groin, right leg out to the side. We're going to take the right arm to the inside of your right leg. And same idea, let's go into an arm balance shape. So bend the elbow, so now my arm and my leg are like a T. Okay, take the left arm here, and all you're gonna do is squeeze the straight leg into the elbow, and the elbow pushes into the knee, but you're gonna watch how my shoulder tends to punch forward. Yours probably will too. You're gonna just keep that back a little bit, but turn your chest. I'm also pressing the far knee down and out. 2 more breaths. Linger at the top. 1 more breath. Unwind. All right. Inhale, half lift to the center. I'm going to bow straight to the middle here. So this knee's out to the side. And you can see with my right leg, I'm not sure if you can see that. That's the best angle. Yeah, you see how my foot is rotating. The big toe is pressing forward. And turning out, see if you can do that as well. Pressing the front shin down and out as well. Two more breaths. One more. All right, coming on up. Simply cross the ankles. Come through all fours. Step back, down dog. Full breath in. And out. Left leg to the sky. Inhale. Step forward. High lunge, rise up. Linger at the top. Open warrior 2. Reverse, inhale. Exhale, we're coming all the way through. Left hand out in front, tap the back foot forward or step or drag, whichever works. Inhale when you're ready. Ardha Chandrasana, half moon. Find a place that's stable for you. If that means the bottom knee is bent, then keep it that way. A slight tuck of the tailbone does help this posture significantly. And now focus on your breath. Raga is that attachment to things outside of ourselves, in believing that the pursuit of something outside or the attainment of something outside will bring us happiness. This teaching of Purnoham is to remind us that everything I need is within me, and that the pursuit of outside things can be joyful if it's coming from a place of fullness, from a place of play, which is called lila, divine play, from a place of joy and expression. Release the hands. So in Tantra, place the right knee behind the left ankle. Tantra lineage is not saying that we should be avoiding the outside world and the joys of things, okay, or our pursuits. It's not saying to give up any of that.
It's just trying to help us to align why we're pursuing those things. So if we're pursuing those things because we feel that we're lacking in something, which most of us, let's just say all of us do, so we pursue things because we feel a feeling of lack, then the attainment of that thing still feels empty, and then it's just the next thing. So this teaching of Pornoham is to remind us of the fact that that life's energy, that the beauty of life itself is already within us, operating as us in the form of this human being that we are. And life is a gift that we get to live. So everything we need is actually already within us. This is the teaching. And so from that place of fullness, then the attainment of things outside of ourselves becomes just a joyful play and something to explore, to have fun with. Okay, it's a big difference from that place. Okay, and we all know the difference, and we've all felt the difference. So, okay, inhale, lift tall. Exhale, turn. Inhale. Exhale. One more time, inhale. Exhale. All right, unwinding, inhale. Gentle counter twist. Okay, unwrap the left leg. And we take our wide positioning here, as much as you can, of course. And if your knee's not near the ground, it's up here, you just put a block or blankets underneath it so you can push it down into something. You don't want to be pushing it in. If you push down into nothing, then these muscles will actually tense up to try to save you from hurting yourself. But if you have something and you push down into it, so you want to always go not to your end range, but a little bit before the end range, then push down, okay? So push down into something, blocks or blankets, and we take our arm balance position here. Firm up your leg. Squeeze the elbow and leg into each other and keep the left shoulder back. All right, coming on up, we bow to the center. Any degree, of course. Remember, this is not trying to attain a posture outside of ourselves to fulfill anything, but rather to express the joy of being a human with muscles and bones and joints. And it is a privilege to get to know this body. In that way, we won't be so competitive with ourselves or with other people. We'll just recognize, wow, this is just a gift to be right here, right now, wherever it is that I am. And out of the desire to get to know myself more, I might pursue further postures, but not because if I, nail that posture, then I'll be a good person or anything like that. Or happy or joyful or free, whatever it is. Loved. Take your feet wide. Today we're going to take a narrower stance. For some of you that might be wide, but it's like a, more of a 45-degree angle. Don't try to go really wide. Move your hips back. Bend your knees a little bit and take your elbows to blocks or the ground, okay? And as you take your elbows to blocks or the ground, whatever you have, with your knees bent, you just turn your legs inward a little bit, like so your thighs start facing towards you. Keeping your thighs starting to face towards you, round your upper back, that fullness we talked about. Okay, with the rounded upper back, you may or may not be able to get closer to the ground, okay, depending. Your shoulder blades are broad away from each other. Okay, knees are bent. Squeeze your heels towards you. Really pull them back towards you and turn your thighs, again, turn your thighs in towards your arms. Your toes can turn out, feet can turn out, but your thighs rotate in. As I'm pulling my heels towards me, that warming up the hamstrings. Okay, rounding the upper back, fullness in the back body. I'm going to give you just one more angle, I think. Is this a good angle? Turning the thighs in. All right, and release. Turning the thighs in with legs bent is the key to starting this posture. All right, so you're gonna take 2 blocks. I've got these really great second wind blocks. They're cork, they're hard, and they're stable. This is the best thing for arm balances. Anything where you're bearing weight, cork blocks. Sitting on a block, I would say a foam block's a little bit nicer for your sit bones. Yeah, but you could always put a blanket or yoga mat over the blocks if you're sitting. But for us, today's purposes, we're gonna place these hard blocks if you have them. Of course, foam should be okay. With your hands turned out. So let me just give you, the hand is gonna be caddy corner. Hopefully you can see that, I can't see the monitor. On the block, gripping the block like so. Okay, so your fingers are off the block and it's turned out. Okay, it's gonna be helpful on the wrist for most of you. And you're gonna place that block behind. So you see my arms go inside my legs and the hands on the blocks, and they have to be fairly wide, okay? So with your hands fairly wide, that's a pretty good angle, but let me get other ones here. Let's go, this I think might be good. Okay, so on the inside, hands on blocks, then you're gonna sit down, okay? Next step, once you sit down on your arms, is to lift the heels up. I'm gonna keep flashing between the different angles, okay? So here, sit down, heels up. Okay, that's a pretty good angle, I think, yeah. Now, it's the pornata in the upper back. So here, sit down, fullness. You can probably see that pretty well from the side view. Okay, that's pushing with my hands and rounding my back. Now, I flex my feet and squeeze in. Okay, that's step 1. Then you come down and give your wrists a break. Make sure you don't burn anything out, okay? Let's see. So step 2 is you're gonna try to turn your legs in just like we did a moment ago with your knees bent. A lot of people try to straighten their legs too soon, and as a result, they stifle their range of motion. So step 1, you go down and you use blocks because most of us don't have the flexibility to put your hands on the ground. If you do, by all means, go for it. Of course, if you can't get down there, put 2 blocks underneath each hand. Okay, the fullness in the upper back is what's going to give you the power and the strength in the arms. So that's very metaphoric, by the way. Fullness is what gives you the power and the strength. Okay, so sit down. Tap into your fullness by rounding the upper back, pushing. Squeeze the legs in toward each other. Keep squeezing the legs in towards each other on the arms, and now turn the legs in. You'll know your feet will go out when you turn your legs in. So it's your upper thighs that turn in, okay? Upper thighs turn in, okay? Then come back down, relax. Now, for most of you, want to be really careful here that you might fall back on your butt. So I recommend getting a couch cushion and putting it under your butt, pillows, whatever you need so you don't land on your tailbone on the hardwood floor. Okay, so the next step is to just do what you did, turn in, and then straighten the legs to the degree that you can, which is, is gonna be what it is for today. You're not gonna get any more flexible. All you need to do is take those 3 steps. Okay, so fullness in the upper back, squeeze the legs inward toward each other, keep squeezing them in, turn in, then 4th step is to straighten, okay? Fullness in the upper back, squeeze the legs in, turn the legs in, not losing the first 2, then straighten the legs. Okay, so here we go. Pillow behind your butt, underneath your butt. Come on down, point the feet, squeeze the legs in, rounding the upper back, I missed that one, sorry. Fullness in the upper back, squeeze in, now turn in, and then maybe any amount start to straighten the legs. Any amount. That's called Titibhasana. Fullness in the upper back. All right, I'm gonna do it one more time from a side angle just so you have another view for yourself. Step 1, you come on down here, okay? And sit onto your feet. Now, the actions. Fullness in the upper back, so I push through my hands. Action 2, squeeze the legs in toward one another. Action 3, turn the legs in and the feet will go out. Turn the thigh bones in, that is. Step 4, or action 4, is straighten any degree the legs.
But you see how the upper back is still full? All right. Hopefully that is helpful and makes sense. So to cool down here, I'm going to stretch the pectorals, the front body a little bit. So come onto your belly. Take your left arm out to the side. Watch my shoulder here. I pop it up. Okay, I keep it up as I roll over. Now when I start to roll over, you see my shoulder starts to go down. So I pull it up away from the ground. And one way to do that is press the elbow into the ground and roll the bicep away from the ground, stretching the pecs. Of course, don't worry too much about the alignment of that. Come back to your slow, steady breath. All right, come back. Let's do the other side. All right, release. We're going to roll onto our back and take a bridge, which will be elbows wide, robot arms. Press your heels down, lift your heart up, and press the middle of the bow, which is your solar plexus area, up to the sky. Low back as well to the sky. Just kind of giving a little balance to the back body, which was in that fullness of the back body, stretching the muscles behind the heart, contracting the front body. So just giving a balancing moment. And release. Hug the knees, happy baby if you wish. Okay, option to turn the legs in for constructive rest, as I like to take, or you can take Shavasana with the legs out to the side. Any variation with the arms. Wherever your body likes to be, let it be. Take one more intentional breath. Exhale it out. And allow the body to rest here. Feeling held by gravity against the stability of the earth. And with that, recognizing that everything you need is right within you. The gift of life in its fullest form is pulsing inside you and is taking form as you. The fullness we all crave is not outside, but within ourselves.
Come back to your breath. Awaken the fingers and toes. And pause for a moment. I'd like you to acknowledge whether you feel more energized or more asleep. One way you can do this, of course, is just feel into your experience. Another way to do it is to notice if the right nostril is more open, left side body, that would be more parasympathetic nervous system, calming, more relaxed. If the left side is more open, this is going to be more Pingala energy, more awake, sympathetic nervous system. So whichever side's more open, let's say if it is your right nostril, you can roll to your right side. If it is your left nostril that is more open, you can roll to your left. Now this is not exactly the same as what yoga teaches, but you can try this out and see what happens. So if your right nostril is more open, roll to your right side. And now place your left hand underneath your right armpit. If you're opposite, if you're rolled to your left side, place your right hand underneath your left armpit. This will create pressure, stimulating the nerve that corresponds with the opposite nostril. So your left hand is under your right armpit. The nerve corresponds to the left side of the nostrils. If your right arm is underneath your left armpit, then it's right nostrils that are open. Now release, come on up to a seated position of your choosing. Try not to come too far out of that Shavasana state of mind, but place both hands underneath both armpits. And breathe very subtly to observe which nostril is more open. Now, whichever nostril is more open, we want to balance it out. So, if your left nostril is more open, then remove your left hand from your right armpit so that your right hand is underneath the left armpit, which will stimulate an opening of the right nostril. If you're the opposite, so if your left nostril is more closed, then keep your left hand under your right armpit. And breathe very subtly. And now I'd like you to add on the kumbhak, which is that little bit of breath lingering or retention. So just very subtle ujjayi, a gentle whisper. Linger at the top, the fullness. Exhale. Repeat this on your own tempo. And keep paying attention to the nostril that is more closed. See if it starts to open as a result of your hand being underneath the armpit. When you feel even or closer to it, remove both hands. And if you don't feel even, you can just stay with Padadhirasana, keeping the breath slow and steady. The next step, when ready, is to move into our pranayama, our skull shining breath. Kapala, skull, pati, shining breath. Pranayama. So we take a comfortable breath in and out. Again, inhale part of the way, and we're going to do 15 rounds of exhales. Linger at the top of the inhale. Inhale, comfortable amount. Again. Linger at the top. Inhale a comfortable amount. One more round. Linger. Make sure your posture is refreshed as needed. If you need to tip your pelvis forward again, adjust your legs. Low back is in a nice, comfortable, arched position. Upper back is full. Behind the heart is full. Skull comes back over the pelvis. Feel the central line of energy from the base of the pelvis up through the skull. Notice what you feel. The Sanskrit mantra is Purnoham, Purnoham, Purnoham. You can simply say, I am fullness, if that works better for you. I am full also works. I am that which is full of all there is. Anything along those lines that really calls to you is great. Otherwise, Purnoham, Purnoham. It's great to say it out loud a few times to get the vibration, and it holds you accountable. Purnoham, 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 Purnoham. Bring it inward. Still continuously reciting the mantra to strengthen the attention of the mind. Purnoham. Recognizing at any point if the mantra gets lost or the mind gets distracted, simply recognize the distraction, label it thought, emotion, noise, and come back to Purnoham, strengthening your attention. Purnoham, Purnoham. Purnoham. Simply become aware of yourself reciting the mantra. Watch the mind using the mantra. distracted, come back to the mantra, or simply remind yourself to watch yourself, watch the mind doing the mantra. Watch yourself get distracted, watch the mind get distracted. Who is watching? Purnoham. Bring yourself back to your breath. Awaken the fingers, the toes. Stretch the arms. Create some heat in the palms. Place the hands over the eyes. Let's take a breath in. Hands over the heart. Let's take a breath in. Hands over the belly. Massage the legs, bring some life back into the tissues of your body. Try to get to the feet. Place the hands at the heart. Purnoham. I'm already full. I have all that I need within me. From this place of fullness, we can enjoy the outside world, the fruits of being a human. We can enjoy our endeavors, our pursuits, from a place of recognition that we are already full, rather from a place of emptiness that we need something outside of ourselves in order to be full. So may we bow in honor of this pulse of consciousness, of awareness, the flow of fullness within us. We bow in. Purnoham. Namaste. All right. Thank you all so very much for tuning in. It's a pleasure to share this practice of fullness with you. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you have any questions for me on the practice or the asana practice as well, you can put them up in the Facebook group. Some of you have asked me questions about your practice. I would love if you place those in the Facebook group so that I can answer for everybody's sake. So everybody in the Facebook group gets an answer to your question, and that way we all grow as a community and we can all share in this process of learning, okay? So thank you all. I'm just gonna quickly say hello over here. Thanks for participating in the chat. And I hope you all have a magnificent, magnificent day.